CFC Fans React, back with the aftermath, me and Michael Bowers. As Dave, there's John Fairweather.
You can tell there's a few people that's a little bit happy.
Picking these lads up. Anyway, Michael, I'm glad you're here because there's not much to talk about in that game. I've struggled today with trying to
get content in terms of interviews. Yeah,
it's a hard one. It's hard one to discuss. But Michael, in your expertise ways of speaking in football matches, how would you sort of see doubt that and how we win that game?
For starters, Borough didn't get every single major decision, unlike last season. Sorry, I can't let that one.
The referee.
I can't let that. To be fair, I didn't think the referee was that good today. If I'm honest, I think that there was a couple. I'll address it both ways to be balanced, right? Apparently, the Trey Hume tackle in the first half that led to a Borough free kick in the first half, right on the edge of our box.
Yeah.
Those suggestions that should have been a red. Now, being honest, if that should have been a red, then for me that's karma for last season because Daniel got sent off for a second yellow for basically bad language when they had a couple of players that I thought should have been sent off last year and weren't.
Have you seen the Trey Hume tackle back yet or not?
I haven't. So I'm saying apparently I need to watch it.
Bad, apparently.
I need to watch this back. But if so, karma for last year.
True.
On the other side, I felt Emmanuel Lat should have been sent off for a second yellow card challenge on Luke O'Nien, which somehow wasn't given. I also felt like the referee was at times very card happy for both teams. Everyone's happy. At times the referee I thought was very card happy for both teams, and then there were times when I felt there were genuine fouls that weren't given by the officials. Like I've said before, and I will repeat this till I'm blue in the face, we criticise referees when we win games as much as when we lose games.
That's it.
It's not bitter. You can't say we're bitter when we've won.
And the same with one today, and I think the referee was atrocious at times.
Yeah, and I think the referees in general.
You see the Mundell challenge?
Is this the penalty shout you're on about? I haven't seen that back yet, but apparently a lot of people were adamant that was a penalty.
Well, it was. Mike, I've retweeted, so have a look back. It shows you right of zoom in and the eclipsy foot in the box. If that's outside the box, it's a free kick. So why is that a penalty?
Because the referees are awful. That's why. All right, okay, I'll watch that back to check for myself. But as far as the game goes, I know you said you were struggling to think of like content.
Topics
for me,
and
right?
Yeah.
I listen to.
Hard one.
I keep mentioning this podcast all the time, but What the Folk's a great show. Really recommend you check it out. But I listened to their preview in the week with a lad called Matt from the Borough Breakdown podcast, and he mentioned something that I did keep in mind during the game today. When Borough go behind in a game, or when they're chasing a result one way or another, whether it's to a team that's holding it to a draw or whether they're losing a game, they tend to struggle against teams that defend in a low block and put like two banks of four in front of them so that it restricts space for them to attack. Apparently, they tend to do better when teams come onto them and they've got space on the opposite side of the pitch to exploit. So, that in mind, I felt like Borough had the possession, had the territory, probably had more shots across the game, but I didn't feel like they did anything, apart from a Conway header that was straight at Patterson.
When it was over the bar, was that on top of the bar or something?
I can't remember, Patterson might have saved it onto the bar, I can't remember. But apart from which, I think that was in the first half, I think that was deemed offside. But in general, I felt most of Borough's chances were shots wide, shots straight at the keeper, shots that were well blocked.
Didn't he test Patterson?
No, and I didn't, and I think Borough, I was expecting Borough to have offered a bit more going forward than what I thought they would, because you look at their team, right? Just attackers alone, you got Isaiah Jones, you got Tommy Conway, you got Latty Lat, like they're three of the best players that in a lot of positions. I think most championship teams would take them. So I think it was very important that we were going to have to be on it, and I think if anything, I said in my own video, which is uploaded by the way, if you want to watch it. Shameless plug. But yeah, no, I did say on there that it was the one good thing. If it was going to be responded in a good way. The one good thing about Plymouth was that it kind of reminded people, right, we're not invincible, we can get beaten if we take our foot off the gas. So hopefully but it's typical Sunderland and typical in the Championship that we'll lose to Wayne Rooney's Plymouth and then we'll go and beat Middlesbrough a week later. Which is just, let's try and explain that logically. It's just utterly ridiculous. So I think in this game, I think it kind of panned out similar some way in terms of our tactics. It panned out the way I thought it would, because I thought our structure across the game in general was actually very good. I thought we restricted Borough excellently, and I think that my man of the match today, and there was a few players you could pick for this. My man of the match was Chris Meffam.
Well, that's a good shout, because young George said that, and when somebody mentioned that, I went, you know what, he didn't put a foot wrong. No, I said Roberts is mine. And I was a bit disappointed when he took him off. When he took him off, I was thinking, is that precautionary? Is that to try and save him?
It's to get Paul Wilson's cousin on the pitch. Wilson needs it all. But hang on.
Wilson needs it all.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. That's a terrible dad joke.
The penny's dropped.
Yeah, the dad jokes are arriving. Sorry. I'll try not to do them again. But no, seriously, I think that Chris Meffam, and Luke O'Neill in general had a really good partnership between them. And bear in mind, that's the first time they played together, isn't it? So that's really encouraging. And although O'Neill was very good, there was a couple of times I felt he was a bit too eager to run out and try and create something, and lost the ball. I was losing me cool with him.
I went off because it was a counter, but they messed it up, didn't they?
Yeah, so thankfully we got away with it, but that's something we need to bear in mind for the future games.
Yeah.
But I felt in general Chris Meffin was very good. I thought he structured, he would man-marshal the defence. He was a unit, as you like to say, at the back. I thought both full-backs, Cirkin and Hume, in general, when they were composed, were good. I thought the pick of the midfielders for me, Joe Bellingham, I thought was outstanding in the second half. In terms of just making sure you kept the ball, recycled possession, and stopped Borough from getting any sort of momentum behind you. Because you know that if Borough can click it on like that, and they've got the players to beat most teams. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that it was a really important 3 points in that regard, because we needed to show we could respond from last week, and I felt we did really well. I think Mundell and Roberts on both flanks were very good.
They were.
You know, Roberts, it was a typical Roberts performance that he does all the brilliant stuff, and then he gets to the final third. But to be fair, he's already got like 2 assists and a goal this season, so I'll let him off.
He deserves a part of that goal because he shot, felt a rig, and then obviously rig went in the keeper. But I think
so he has a build up to the goal.
He does that a lot. He does that a lot, Robertson. I mean, I've always questioned his work rate off the ball, but
this season so far,
there's no doubting he's got quality on the ball. No doubting.
In terms of work rate off the ball, I think this season has been vastly improved from him as well. I mean, last week at Plymouth was probably an exception, but I don't think anyone played well at Plymouth, really, apart from Mundell.
So you're going to get games like that in the season. That's a stroke, but that's just a very rare
normally
one.
The exception rather than the rule, hopefully. I think the way to look at it for me is because we're on 15 points now, aren't we? So. Again, it's like I think you and Dave were saying before. It's a long season. We know that there's going to be a lot more challenges to come. But the way I'm looking at it is, you said our expectation this season was probably playoffs. I'd imagine. Right. What points tally do you think we need to get into the playoffs?
Points tally.
Okay, let's rephrase that. If we got, say, 75 points, would that be enough to get in the top 6 for you?
What was the points tally when we got
69 points.
That's going to be more.
Last season it was like 73, 74 needed to get in. So say 75 points. That usually is enough to get in the playoffs. We're a fifth of the way there already in terms of points tally. In terms of, so it's 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. But look, I'm not saying we're definitely going to get in the playoffs. Well, hopefully we get top 2. That'd be nice. But look, again, long season. We know that. But it's a really... Get in. No, I've got to... But I will say this, I haven't really mentioned the goal. Chris Riggs' finish.
Filth.
Absolutely filth. I promise I'm going to keep this appropriate. But you know Jamsani? He put out a tweet. It's so Joel. Filthy animal. Joel put a tweet out something like, Chris Rigg is Pornhub level good. And he gets a website, which is a shame because it's a website he can't legally visit yet. So Chris... it was just... I mean, obviously, look, the build-up was a bit scrappy, but like the finish itself was a back heel, wasn't it, in the back of the net?
Because he went... What it was, he's left-footed, as we know. He went round the keeper and he used to thought, my right foot, I didn't feel comfortable. That's why he just quickly thought back heel and it went in.
That's quality, isn't it?
Quality.
That's absolutely quality. So like, and we all know, look, if we don't get promoted, we're not going to hold on to Chris Rigg. So but Chris Rigg, getting him to, like, we can give our stick about the model and whatever else, but getting him tied down is one of the best things that we did this summer. Like getting him actually tied down to a contract where if we do lose him now, we get a fee for him.
Was that Dave? I thought it was KLD. I thought it was KLD. I thought he was waving a KLD there.
Yeah, well,
I would have filmed me what.
I will say this: there is enough games to ask the question so far now.
Aye.
This was the main featured Sky game today. What do you think about Luigi Labrice so far? Then we've had 6 games of him, and while it's a long season, I'm just asking so far for 6 games.
Well, you can't really. Apart from that game last Saturday, you can't really fault him, can you?
But if you'd said...
Considering he's had his hands tied as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because I don't think we've really went for it in the window game, Michael. I don't think we did.
I think in terms of a striker, I would agree with you. I don't think we necessarily did. And I think I like Meander a lot, but it's a lot to ask of him over 46 games to replicate what he did early on. And I didn't think he was too bad today, actually. He just got bullied by a couple of Borough centre-backs who are experienced. Well, they're experienced, aren't they? Matt Clark. I can't remember who the other one is, but Matt Clark's one of them, and he's a veteran in the Championship, really, compared to our team he is. But, like... You know, I think we needed another striker. Wilson Isidore, I know that he's someone who can apparently play up front, but I don't know whether he's viewed as more of a wide player than a forward. Like an actual, like as in centre forward, out and out centre forward. So I think the main thing now is to make sure we're in the picture come January, and then we'll see. Then
I think we need to strengthen. Regardless of what happens, I think we need to strengthen in January.
Well, exactly, because like even if you signed a forward, even if say we didn't go up this year, if you signed a forward who adapts well to the Championship, then next season it'll be massive for us. So, but I know what you mean. Like, I did feel like, I mean, look, we might still end up doing really well, and I hope we do, obviously. But like, I think Regional Police deserves a lot of credit. Don't get Manager of the Month again, please, though, because that apparently is a curse.
It's a curse, right?
Curse every we did that, and we
lose against Plymouth.
Lose against Plymouth, aye. But I think that it's important to say, I think we don't really have an excuse now not to try and push the boat out a bit more, but at the end of the day, we did get a lot of we did things I was frustrated with, like not getting another forward, but like getting Ballard tied down, getting Job tied down, getting Rigg tied down, I thought was huge.
Massive.
Chris, based off, this is just one game, I appreciate this, but based off today, I thought Meffam looked really good.
He was solid.
I think Alan Brown had a lot of experience in the midfield, which we maybe at times might have missed today, but either way, I think you can't really complain. Like, it's a way to bounce back from a really poor defeat at Plymouth. So, and
that's just a test the character deal, wasn't it? The way
absolutely does.
Young lads. How will they handle the first defeat?
Well, exactly. We said that was what we're going to be made of today. We're going to find out, aren't we? I will back. Nick looks very happy. But like, and I will back up my point today. I am clean sheet wanker because that won us the game today. I am not shutting up about them before anyone says anything. The clean sheets allow you to win a game like that. I'm adamant of it. One last thing I'll ask you before we finish.
Yeah.
I asked on Twitter and I asked on my own video. A couple of people seem to want me and Shaun to do a podcast, which is, so if you want to listen to our my dulcet tones is the main man here. If you want to listen to our dulcet tones even more, then let us know if you want us to.
In the comments.
If there's enough, would you do if there was enough demand for a podcast, would you do it?
Oh yeah, well of course I would. Yeah.
We shall see. Shaun Pleston will probably be sick of me keeping mentioning the words clean sheets.
Mate, it's always a pleasure.
Take care, bro. Thanks very much.
Cheers. Go and subscribe, Michael.
Subscribe to